you gonna do when the camera's on you? Hey y'all, it's Ned over My Philippine Dreams, N to the E to the D over at MPD. And I am running solo today as Michelle is at work because somebody has to work in this relationship and bring home some money. So, you want to be a Philippines expat YouTube millionaire. It is possible, and in this video I'm going to be talking about just how possible it is. This is actually going to be a three-part series. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the background about the Philippines expat YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about the positives, some of the good things, and some of the good reasons to get into starting your own channel. And I'm going to be talking about some of the negatives, some of the downsides of having your own YouTube channel. I plan on being a Philippine expat YouTube millionaire within 7 or so years. Yeah, it's going to take a while. And when I say a million, I'm not talking a million US dollars. I'm talking a million pesos, which at the current exchange rate I believe is $21,761 a month. Basically at this point, and we've been doing this for over a year now, YouTube, the earnings from YouTube is paying for our rent, which is pretty cheap to begin with, and our electricity, most of the time. One of the things that you have to keep in mind, and that I have to constantly remind myself, is that this was found money. This wasn't something that I had part of my budget. I didn't know that you could do this until somebody actually said, hey, you know, you can monetize your channel. Some of your content is pretty decent. Why don't you give it a shot? So it's basically found money. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's not steady. The way the yearly cycles go on YouTube, I guess, towards the end of the year, there's more advertisers and all that because the holiday season's coming up. So your earnings go up, and then at the beginning of the year, your earnings are lower. So it's not steady income. It's not income that you can count on, but it is there. It is possible to make some money, and yes, you can make a million pesos after a good amount of time. When you break the numbers down, if I was to sit down and say, okay, I spent so many hours doing this month and I made this much money, it comes out to about minimum wage sometimes. And I'm not talking like the new minimum wage where people are making like $15 an hour. I'm not even talking about the old minimum wage where people were making like $7 an hour. I'm talking about like the minimum wage that people made back in 1958 when the minimum wage law started. If you look at the return on investment that you're putting into all your work, it's kind of discouraging. So you can't do it just for the money. A little background on our channel. We started our channel shortly after I got here. I started uploading videos. I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't. But it was originally intended to be just a travel channel. Then somebody said, hey, why don't you monetize your channel and start networking and stuff and try to get some traction. So I started doing that, and over the past year, we've gone up to 9,000 subscribers, and we got almost 2 million views. And it's pretty steady. We're getting more subscribers, but the money basically stays the same. I enjoy doing it. I have a full-time job, so this is kind of like a part-time job on top of that. But I do enjoy doing it, and there's a bunch of reasons that I do enjoy doing it, and I'm about to get into that. Again, though, you got to realize that this is found money. This will not support you if you want to live in the Philippines. You can't, because this is another reason that I'm doing the video. I've had a couple guys over the past month say, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. How much money are you making so I can figure out if I'll be able to survive on my YouTube earnings. It's probably not going to happen. And I wouldn't want to be living tooth to nail and week to week and month like that anyways. It's not recommended. So, as to reasons why you should consider starting your own YouTube channel, I have basically 8. First up is legacy. We want to leave something behind. I don't know what it is about the human condition, but we want to leave something behind. Our lives are transitory. We're not here for too many decades. And it'd be nice to leave something behind. A lot of people get the biological imperative to have children and leave good kids behind. Other people, are putting out like Tolstoy and knocking out novels and leaving a real legacy. But you want to leave something behind. And a YouTube channel, putting information on the net, good constructive information, or don't do what I do information, is a good way to do that. It fulfills some base need within us. And when I look back at all the work that I've put into the channel and the website and all that stuff, I feel pretty good about myself. So that's the first reason. Second reason is, of course, money. We already talked about that. Yes, you can make some money, and yes, you could probably make $1 million after a while. But unless your videos go viral, you're not going to make a lot of money. But it helps. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, it's good to make sure you're maintaining content, identify your niche, and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The third benefit of having a YouTube channel is it increases your oratory skills, call it, your elocution, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of like Toastmasters. Yeah, it's kind of like Toastmasters on the internet. I noticed that I was saying a lot and hesitating and losing my train of thought in a lot of videos, and over time I've tried to overcome that. Matter of fact, I just reshot this video because there was so many in the first one. So your skills become better. When I look back at my first video, I can remember my first video that I did. It was a horror show. It was a talking head video just like this. I kept losing my train of thought. I kept saying, it was like 15, 20 takes, and I finally gave up. After that, I think I just strapped it on and started like going for motorcycle rides around town and doing the narration later. So that increases. It's one of the skills that increases. That's number 3. Number 4 is objectivity. A lot of times we don't really see ourselves. A lot of times we're wandering around and we're looking out our own eyeballs and we've got our brain going on. And seeing yourself on video brings a bit more objectivity to that. Some of the things that you're going to see about yourself, you're probably not going to like. Like, I've learned over the past year that I can be a little arrogant at times, a little overbearing, a little stubborn, a little hard-headed, a little set in my ways. But what's good about doing the videos is I can identify these things about myself and try to work on them. So it gives you some sense of objectivity, and it gives you that reflection. And it also makes you realize about your physical deformities. Like, I never realized I had this massive nose until I started doing videos, because usually you're looking straight at the mirror. That's number 4, objectivity. Number 5 is communication. Doing videos I'm 12,000 miles from home. I'm far away from my friends and my family. So it's a good way to put up proof of life videos that you're still alive, and some of the things that you're doing, some of the places that you're going, and how things are with you. It's a good way to do that. Skype is great because you got the interactivity and stuff, but it's also a good way to communicate with people that maybe don't have the time or the desire to Skype with you. So that's number 5. Number 6 is the number 6 benefit of having a YouTube channel is you're going to learn new skills, especially for us old dogs, us aging dogs, us decrepit dogs. That's a good thing. It's good to challenge our mind and learn new things. I've learned about composing shots. I've learned about editing software, Handbrake. I've learned how to use all the software, the hardware. I never knew how to use cameras and stuff, and I still really don't. But you're going to learn new skills. And that's a good thing because us old dogs can learn new tricks. So that's number 6. Number 7 is purpose. I talk a lot about making sure you have a passion and purpose when you're in the Philippines. You need that anywhere in life, but I believe in the Philippines you need it even more so because here you're kind of isolated and you're sort of in this little bubble. So it's good to have something to do. It's good to have something to focus on, and that really helps my life a lot. In addition to my work and all the other things that I do, is to have something like that to do, my own little forum, to just try to be creative. Because I think that's another need that human beings have, is some level of creativity. I sure as hell can't sing, as we'll see in our upcoming video. Number 8, the last positive that I noted is posterity. I think it's going to be hilarious to look back years from now, 10, 20, hopefully 30 years from now, and be able to look at myself and get a chuckle out of it. To be able to show what the changes that I've undergone. Because again, it's not just physical changes that we go through, it's all kinds of changes in personality and mental development, and our takes and our stances, our philosophies, our values. And I think even just looking back like 5 years from now, it's going to be kind of funny to see how naive I was in many ways about some things. So I think that's cool. Plus, I'll be able to look back and say, wow, I used to be so handsome. So those are 8 of the positives of having a YouTube channel, and 8 reasons to do it. And I encourage everybody to do it because it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of good times doing it. Now for the downsides. There's not that many downsides. The first thing is the loss of anonymity. After a while, especially in a small town like Dumaguete, where we only have like 130,000 people, if you're out there, people are going to recognize you. People are going to come up to you when you're in the mall, when you're out to eat and stuff, and introduce themselves. And especially when you look like me with this giant bald head, you're kind of Mr. Clean, and they kind of recognize you. So that's a little odd. Gentleman Soyami Kaya, he actually doesn't video himself in the videos. And when people ask him why he doesn't do that, he says because he wants his privacy and he wants his anonymity. So all you can see in the videos is his big hairy arms. I think he's in Angeles City now. The next thing is sometimes you're going to feel like you're having to grind content. It's a lot of work, and when I have that feeling that I'm grinding content, it's not a whole lot of fun. It becomes more like a job, and I don't want it to be a job. I want it to be something I'm passionate and that I enjoy doing. So I have to make sure that I'm giving myself the time that I need to just kick back and relax, so that I don't feel like this is turning into a job and I'm having to grind out content. That's not a good feeling. So that's another downside. And finally, as it comes to the downside, it's the internet. So you're going to be dealing with trolls. You're going to be dealing with anonymous people that are sitting behind anonymous screen names. And the social controls, usually when you're interacting with somebody on a one-to-one basis, there's social controls there. You're not going to say inappropriate things. You're not going to do inappropriate things because the person's standing right there, and something could happen as a result of that. On the internet, there's no such controls. People can say anything they want to say. The best way to start an internet argument is make a comment and just wait for the furor to ensue. So you have to deal with trolls. Dealing with trolls is actually not that difficult. All you usually have to do is go to their Google Plus account and see what other comments they're leaving in other people's websites and YouTube channels, and then you just block them. It's that simple. Some YouTubers will argue with them and feed into it and all that stuff. I'm just too busy. I don't have the time to do that, so you'll get blocked. It's nothing personal. It's just, I try to have, and I try to allow as many comments and different views and opinions as I can, but when it starts getting stupid and it starts getting confrontational and all that stuff, I'll usually send you a warning and then I'll ban you. So those are the three downsides. The positives far outweigh the negatives. It's a lot of fun. I'm still passionate about it. It still gives me a sense of purpose. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about some of the other Philippine YouTubers and the effect that they had on my channel and where I'm at right now. We're going to be talking about Pop Z, Soyami Kaya, Life Beyond the Sea, Henry over there, Jack Northrup, and we'll be talking about some of the new guys that have come along, like Chris Wren over at Brit in the Philippines, Bud Brown, SezStyle, and of course, Michael Fazio over at Hoodwinked by an Angel, who's got a very interesting site. If you guys want to actually check those sites, I'm going to list out their channels in the video description on this video. It's worth checking them out, again, to get different perspectives and to get them some traffic. Because we're all supposed to be supporting each other. We're all supposed to be helping each other out. And a little bit goes a long ways. Tomorrow we're going to be talking again about more in depth about some of these other Philippine expat YouTubers and the effects that they've had on my channel and my life. And in the final episode, part 3, we're going to be talking about some of the software, some of the hardware, and some of the information you leave. One last thing, I'm putting up a link right here, and I want you to check out that link. This was the first video that I saw of life in the Philippines. It's a young man named Burris Trout, I believe. And he did a video on I think it was his first week in the Philippines, and he was basically shell-shocked. And I love this video. Thank you, Mr. Burris, for putting it up, because it kind of inspired me to come to the Philippines. But it captures that bewildered WTF feeling that you have when you first arrive. Because even after all the research, all the communication, all the YouTube videos that you've seen, when you get here, all that sort of goes out the window, and the reality of this place actually settles in. If you like the channel, subscribe. Please give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's cool too, because viewer engagement is always encouraged. Until next time, this is Med over My Philippine Dreams. Take care.